Yazi, and I'm 83 years old. I'm a cardiologist specializing in diseases of the heart and blood vessels and a proud member of the Navajo Nation. For 43 years, I've been working in my clinic, meeting countless patients. When I started out as a young doctor full of vigor, I thought I could cure every illness. But as the years passed, I realized something more important than simply treating disease: preventing it. This is especially true when treating elders in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. I've learned that every little symptom is a signal from the body. If you ignore these signals, they can develop into major health problems down the road. Lately, I've felt more compelled to share healthy living practices with as many people as possible, rather than just seeing patients in the hospital. That's why I'm creating these videos based on my own experiences and my 43 years of medical knowledge. I want to show people, especially our elders, simple ways to stay healthy right in their own homes. Today, we're talking about a common problem many of us experience, especially at night: leg cramps. That sudden, sharp pain when your calf muscle seizes up. If you haven't felt it, you can't understand how intense it is. I started experiencing this myself in my 70s, and it was truly awful. But now I know a simple 3-second acupressure trick that can provide immediate relief. Since learning this technique, I almost never wake up with leg cramps anymore. By the end of this video, you'll know this simple, effective method too. At first, I thought leg cramps were just a part of getting old. Around the age of 75, one winter night, my calf muscles suddenly became as hard as a rock. The pain was excruciating. It started happening once or twice a week, but the frequency increased. Especially when the weather was cold, I'd get cramps almost every night. It wasn't just my calves, my toes, and even my thighs would cramp up some nights. The worst part was not being able to sleep properly. I was afraid of cramping, so I would bend my leg up to sleep or even slept sitting up in a chair a lot of nights. My wife Mary was worried and wanted me to go to the hospital. But I'm a doctor. What could I not know? I just tried to tough it out. Then one night, I had a cramp worse than usual. My calf muscle completely twisted. My toes went numb and I was sweating. That was the first time I thought this might not just be old age. The next day, I immediately got a blood test. It turned out my magnesium and potassium levels were lower than normal. I also had a lower extremity vascular ultrasound, which showed that blood flow was slower than before. That's when I realized leg cramps weren't just muscle spasms. They were a sign of an imbalance in my whole system. Are you losing sleep because of nighttime leg cramps? If so, I believe the story I'm about to tell you will be helpful. I was able to completely overcome my leg cramps thanks to a lucky encounter. One of my patients, an 88-year-old woman named Mrs. Agnes Greyeyes, came in for an appointment. Mrs. Greyeyes was a traditional weaver and had been suffering from arthritis for a long time. She was also receiving treatment from a traditional Navajo healer. One day, when Mrs. Greyeyes came to see me, she noticed me limping and asked me, "Doctor, do you get leg cramps at night?" So I was honest with her and told her yes, and told her they were awful. Mrs. Greyeyes said, "I used to have the same problem, but I found a point on my calf that provides relief." She said, "You just have to press it for about 3 seconds." At first, I was skeptical. Was there any scientific basis for this? But that night, when I had another cramp, I tried Mrs. Greyeyes' method. I found that spot on the back of my calf where it indents between the calf muscles, pressed hard with my thumb, and it was amazing. In less than 3 seconds, the pain from the cramp disappeared. I thought it might be a coincidence, but I tried it every time I had a cramp, and it worked every time. Curious, I looked for research on the point in the Navajo medicine system. There are many points for the relief of pain. Modern medicine also has research showing that stimulating this area can improve blood flow and relieve muscle tension. Through this experience, I realized that Western and traditional medicine aren't separate. Any method that promotes health is valuable. Now, I actively share this technique with my patients. Now that you've watched this video, I hope you'll learn these effective methods, which I've personally tested and verified. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe and like it. This will help share useful information with more people, especially our elders. The first thing to understand is the real cause of leg cramps. Many people think it's just a result of aging. In fact, several complex factors are at play. The biggest reason is electrolyte imbalance. For our muscles to contract and relax properly, electrolytes like sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium must be in the right proportions. But as we age, kidney function declines and dietary and medication intake changes. This balance can easily be disrupted. Second is impaired blood circulation. After the age of 70, blood vessels' elasticity decreases and blood flow decreases, especially in the legs, which are farthest from the heart. If blood circulation is not smooth, the muscles will not have enough oxygen and nutrients. In this state, even a little exertion can easily cause muscle cramps. Third is dehydration. Older people are less likely to feel thirsty, so their water intake decreases naturally. When there isn't enough water in the body, the blood becomes thicker and the muscles become more rigid. One of my patients, Mr. Charlie Blackhorse, 79 years old, would wake up around 2 a.m. every night with a calf cramp. It was so regular, I joked that he had a clock in his body. After asking more questions, I discovered that Mr. Blackhorse was taking high blood pressure medication and diuretics. Diuretics cause a lot of potassium to be lost, and he didn't drink much water usually. He also rarely drank soup with dinner. Blood tests confirmed that his potassium and magnesium levels were lower than normal. Indicators also showed he was dehydrated. So, while adjusting his medication, I increased his water intake. I suggested eating more foods rich in potassium, such as bananas, potatoes, and spinach. He needed to drink about 1,500 milliliters to 2,000 milliliters of water a day in small amounts throughout the day. I also recommended doing light stretching exercises for 2 hours before bed. When Mr. Blackhorse came back 3 weeks later, he looked like a different person. "Doctor, I haven't had a cramp in a week. I've been sleeping so soundly. I can't remember the last time I had sleep this good." I'm so glad that he was able to see improvements. Leg cramps might seem like a minor symptom, but they tell us about the importance of overall balance in the body. Don't just endure it, but find and address the root cause. In particular, be aware that if leg cramps occur repeatedly, more than 3 times a week, it may not be a temporary phenomenon. In this case, it's recommended that you check your electrolyte levels with a blood test. In my experience, magnesium deficiency is one of the most common causes. You should also check the medications you're taking. Diuretics and high blood pressure medication have the effect of excreting potassium and may cause leg cramps. Blood sugar regulators or cholesterol medications are the same. If you're taking these medications, it's good to consult with your doctor and take electrolyte supplements together. Are you not drinking enough water or eat a lot of salty foods? These small habits can add up and result in leg cramps. The second thing I want to tell you is the 3-second acupressure method I personally tried and confirmed. This method is really simple and effective. The Chang Som point is located on the back of the calf. To be exact, it is the point where the gastrocnemius muscle and the soleus muscle meet. Raise the balls of your feet and you'll see the indentation on the back of the calf. From a modern medicine perspective, the gastrocnemius nerve and the posterior tibial nerve pass through this area. The acupressure method is very simple. First, find the correct position of the Chung San point, sit in a chair and put one leg over the opposite knee, then raise your toes as if you were standing on tiptoes. You'll see the indentation on the back of the calf. Find that spot with your thumb and slowly apply pressure. It may hurt a little at first, but don't press too hard. Slowly exhale and press hard for 3 seconds. Then slowly release the pressure. The important thing here is breathing. Exhale as you press and inhale as you release. Doing this repeatedly will relax the muscles more effectively. Repeat this 3 times for each leg, alternating. One of my patients, Mrs. Clara Standing Bear, 74 years old, suffered from insomnia for almost 2 hours every day due to nighttime leg cramps. She woke up too often and was tired during the day, which made her daily life very difficult. The first time I told her about this acupressure method,
She was skeptical. Would such a simple method really work? But she said she would try it that night. A week later, Mrs. Standing Bear came in with a different expression on her face. "Doctor, it's really amazing. When I feel a cramp coming on, I press that spot and it disappears right away. Now I can sleep without fear of cramps. Thank you so much." Even more surprisingly, 3 weeks later, Mrs. Standing Bear said, "I haven't had a cramp at all lately. I press that spot every night before bed, and it seems to have a preventative effect." In fact, regularly stimulating the Changshan point improves blood circulation in that area and also has the effect of preventing muscle spasms. So I recommend to my patients that they try it not only when they have cramps, but also once or twice a day normally. Recently, a study showed that the group that continued to do Changshan acupressure for 3 weeks had a 15% higher blood flow rate in the lower limbs than the group that did not. This means that it not only relieves pain, but also fundamentally improves blood circulation. Here's another important tip for you. When applying acupressure, pay attention to the direction you're applying the pressure. It is better to apply pressure while slightly pushing upwards towards the heart. This will help with venous return and make the effect even greater. There are a few things to keep in mind when applying acupressure. First, cut your fingernails so you don't hurt your skin. If you press too hard, the muscles will become more tense, so it is important to maintain the right amount of pressure. Pregnant women should consult a doctor before using this acupressure method. People with varicose veins or thrombosis in the lower limbs should also be careful. Are you looking for the Changshan point as you watch this video? It's not as difficult to find as you might think. It's important to find the exact location at first. The third thing I want to talk about is daily management to prevent leg cramps. No matter how good your emergency treatment is, it's best to prevent cramps from happening in the first place. First of all, water intake is really important. Drink about 1,500 ml to 2,000 ml of water a day, but don't drink too much at once. Drink it often in small amounts. Especially 2 hours before bed, drink a cup of warm water slowly. Dietary management is also important. Continue to eat foods rich in potassium, such as bananas, potatoes, spinach, and avocados. Nuts, tofu, and brown rice, which are rich in magnesium, are also helpful. On the other hand, salty foods or processed foods may cause electrolyte imbalance due to excessive sodium, so it is best to reduce them. You should also pay attention to your sleeping environment. A quilt that is too heavy can put pressure on your legs and hinder blood circulation. Also, if you maintain a toe-down posture for a long time, your calf muscles will be fixed in a contracted state and you will easily get cramps. What I recommend is to put a low pillow or cushion under your feet to raise your legs slightly. This will improve blood circulation in the lower limbs and keep the muscles in a comfortable state. I had a patient who really made an impression on me, Mr. Sam Waterflow, 81 years old. Mr. Waterflow worked in farming when he was young, so his leg muscles were very developed. But since he was 75 years old, he has suffered from leg cramps almost every night. After careful observation, I discovered that Mr. Waterflow had been accustomed to sleeping on a hard floor all his life. He also used a very thick quilt. The biggest problem was his sleeping position. He slept on his stomach with his toes hanging off the end of the bed and pointing down all the time. This posture kept his calf muscles contracted for 6 to 8 hours straight. I first advised Mr. Waterflow to change his sleeping position. Sleep on his side with a pillow between his knees, between his shoulders under his head, and put a low cushion under his feet. He said it would be easy to change his sleeping habits all of a sudden, but because the pain of the leg cramps was so severe, he said he would try step by step. When he came back 2 weeks later, Mr. Waterflow's first words were, "Doctor, just changing my sleeping position has already had an effect. The number of cramps has been reduced by more than half." A month later, there was an even bigger change, with increased water intake and dietary adjustments. His leg cramps had almost disappeared. Now he can sleep soundly at night and feels fresher during the day. Light exercise is also helpful. Reduce the chance of cramping by relaxing your muscles with about 5 minutes of calf stretches before bed. It is enough to stretch your Achilles tendon with your hands against the wall or sit and pull your toes towards your body. Let me tell you about a particularly effective exercise. Lie down. Put your legs up against the wall at a 90-degree angle and slowly move your ankles up and down. Doing this exercise for about 3 minutes will greatly improve blood circulation in your calf muscles. Massage is also a good preventative measure. After showering, apply body oil or lotion and gently massage the calf from the bottom up. At this time, do not use too much force, but gently help the blood to flow towards the heart. Now, take a look at your bedroom environment right now. Are you covered with a quilt that is too heavy, or are your feet in an uncomfortable position? Today, based on my 34 years of experience as a doctor and my personal experience, I have told you the story of leg cramps. The 3-second Cheng Shan acupressure can free you from that pain. I have personally experienced it, and many patients have confirmed it. Let's summarize what I've told you so far. First, rethink the real cause of leg cramps. It is not simply a matter of age. Electrolyte imbalance, impaired blood circulation, and dehydration are the main causes. Please keep this in mind. In particular, if it occurs repeatedly, more than 3 times a week, it is recommended that you check your magnesium and potassium levels with a blood test. Second, I will tell you about the 3-second acupressure method for Cheng Shan. Let's confirm again. The spot where the back of the calf meets the calf is the Cheng Shan point. Press hard on the Cheng Shan point with your thumb for 3 seconds, exhaling while slightly pushing upwards towards the heart. This is the point. Do it not only when you have cramps, but also once or twice a day normally, and you will see a preventative effect. Third is daily management. Drink 1,500 ml to 2,000 ml of water a day in small amounts and continue to eat foods rich in potassium and magnesium, bananas, spinach, nuts, tofu, and similar foods. Your sleeping environment is also important. Instead of a youth blanket, put a low pillow under your feet to raise your legs slightly. Don't forget to stretch your calves for 5 minutes before bed. The Achilles tendon stretch that you do with your hands against the wall, or the exercise where you lie down, put your legs up against the wall, and move your ankles are particularly effective. Some of you may be wondering if these simple methods will really work. I was the same way at first, but try it yourself and you will definitely feel the difference.
Countless patients I have treated have been freed from the pain of leg cramps through these methods. People like Mr. Blackhorse, who cramp at fixed times every night. People like Mrs. Standing Bear, who are afraid of cramping and can't sleep. And people like Mr. Waterflow, who have a hard time changing their lifelong habits, have all experienced change. The most important thing is to start today. Don't try to do it perfectly. Start tonight by drinking 1 more glass of water. Check the Chung Son point tomorrow night. Try some simple stretches the day after tomorrow, and then check your sleeping environment. If you do this one by one, you will definitely find a different you in a month. If you can sleep soundly at night, you can spend a more energetic day. Don't give up on the various inconveniences that come with age just because of your age. With a little care and effort, you can live a more comfortable and healthy old age. Just like me at 83, I am practicing these health methods every day and living an energetic life. It is never too late to start. Starting tonight at 10 p.m., check the Chung Son point and check your sleeping environment. Most importantly, drink more water. even if it's just a little bit. Finally, there is one more thing I would like to ask of you. Health is not created in a day or two, but is accumulated through small practices every day. I hope you will not give up on the methods I have told you today after trying them twice, but continue to practice them. My next video will talk about waking up often at night. The 3 golden rules of good sleep. Good sleep is the basis of a healthy life. If you apply it together with the leg cramp solution you learned today, you can have a more comfortable night. If you found today's video helpful, please subscribe and like it. Please help me convey useful health information to more elderly people. Your small concern is a great strength for me and the driving force for creating better content. Thank you.